Some big activist websites 2. Chapter 1. A list of big activism websites. Major activism activist websites 1. Books about activism are at number 323.00 to number 323.99, number 361.209, number 363 or HN 18.3, JC 571-599, JK 1700 and JZ 5538, Peace Activism, at the library. Books about censorship are at number 025.213 or Z658 at the library. Books about community development are at number 307.1 or HN90HN131 at the library. Try number 300, number 307 for books on alternative ideas. Try number 333 for books on the environment. tigweb.org/action-tools/guide. Fair.org, go to the Media Activist Kit. theadvocates-for-human-rights.org/resources_by_topic.html. sourcewatch.org/index.php title =how_to_research_front_groups. idealist.org, Action Without Borders site allows organizations to search a database of over 20,000 international non-profits. guidastar.org, database of over 640,000 non-profit organizations. bopsecrets.org. activism.net. activistcache.com. activistpost.com. adaction.org. advocacynet.org. aim.org, Accuracy in Media. akpress.org. altculture.com. alternate.org. alternativeradio.org. alternate.org. altruist.org. altruists.org. amarcy.org. americanfreepress.net. angelfire.com/mt/peace-resources/activism.html. rdtude.com/links. bigeye.com. boulderactivist.org. campusactivism.org. care2.com, care2.com, for those who care2 make a difference. change.org/changemakers. changemakers.com. charitynavigator.org, Charity Navigator, searchable database of 3,000 charity evaluations. citizen.org/hrg/activist courses. civilpolitics.org, civil politics, promoting more constructive forms of disagreement. comedia.org.uk. counterpunch.org. cryptogon.com. danny.oz.au. democracyinaction.org. democracyinaction.org/dia/organizations/rg. democraticunderground.com. disinfo.com. dissidentvoice.org. don'tvote.com. downhillbattle.org. easydonations.net, easy donations, nearly effortless ways to give. EFF.org/activism, the Electronic Frontier Foundation. EFF.org/pub/EFF/issues/activism, the Electronic Frontier Foundation. electionreform.org/irmain/resources/activist.htm. electronicintifada.net. elroy.net/ehr/fightthe-right.html, how to fight the religious right, a guide to defending yourself. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/category:activism. exonsecrets.org/html/listorganizations.php. factnet.org/activism_resources.htm. fair.org. fair.org/index.php ?page =6, fairs media activism resources. feminist.com/activism. firstamendmentcenter.org. freedomarchives.org. freedompress.org.uk. freepress.net. Major activism activist websites 2. freeradio.org. frontpagemag.com. giraffe.org, Giraffe Heroes Project, honoring people who stick their neck out. globalidasbank.org. globalvillageschool.org/resources.html. gnu.org. goguides.org/topic/5415.html. grameenfoundation.org, Grameen Foundation, innovating for the world's poor. grassroots.com. grradio.org. guidestar.org, GuideStar, Donor's Guide to the Charitable Universe. heroicimagination.org, Heroic Imagination Project, turning compassion into heroic action. hot.com. idealibrary.com/links/thegully.com/actions/resources.html. igc.org, list of organizations. indefinitenzoffreedom.org/organizations.html. independentsector.org. indiebuy.org. indiemedia.org. infoshop.org. irregulartimes.com. killradio.org. kimsoft.com/kimpol.htm, Korean site with worldwide links concerning information and activism strategies and organizations. kimsoft.com/kimpol.htm, political activism resources. kindweb.com. kiva.org, Kiva, loans that change lives, make a microloan today. law.emory.edu/ihr/actcons.html, activism resources. liberationradio.net. lvanj.org/activism-directory/general-resources/activism-resources.php. mapnc.org, Media Activism Center. microradio.net. mindpollen.com/psy/pubs, list of alternative publishers. movements.org, Alliance for Youth Movements, connecting digital activists. nathannewman.org. nifi.org, National Issues Forums. nobelprize.org. nohoax.com. nohops.com. oneworld.net. orlingrab.com. pnnonline.org, Philanthropy News Network Online, Philanthropy Megasite. politicalresources.com. prometheusradio.org. prospect.org. Major activism activist websites. 3. protest.net, a calendar of protest meetings and conferences. protest.net/activists_handbook, activists handbook. publiceye.org. pubpol.duke.edu/centers/philvol, Center for the Study of Philanthropy and Volunteerism. pulsar.mrc.org. radicalradio.org. radio4all.net. radsinet.org, Radical Psychology Network, dedicated to changing the status quo. randomactsofkindness.org, Random Acts of Kindness Foundation, spreads kindness. rawstory.com. rbnlive.com. realhistoryarchives.com/activist.htm. reason.com. selfeducation.org, Self-Education Foundation, individual and community empowerment and self-education through grant-making, community organizing, and outreach. servanet.org, SCRVNet, site devoted to service and volunteering. snowcoalition.org/site/resources/activism. speakoutnow.org. speakoutnow.org, Speak Out, resources to make a difference on political issues. stopbigmedia.com. takepart.com, Take Part Social Action Network. the-fifth-hope.org. thelifeyoucansave.com, The Life You Can Save, Act Now to End World Poverty. thepeoplesvoice.org. tolerance.org. truthdig.org. tucradio.org. ugo.com, Underground Online. unholywars.org. unwelcomeguests.net/archive. unwelcomguest.net. ussbecialinterestgroups.com. videoactivism.org. videoactivism.org, Video Activist Network, using videography for activism. videoactivism.org/resource.html. virtualactivism.net. virtualactivism.org. vivausa.org/activist-resources. voicesofchange.com. volunteermatch.org. Volunteer Match helps people get out and do good. wamc.org/sema.html, the Center for International Media Action. webatlas.org/directory/government/civic-participation/activism-resources. whisperedmedia.org. wikileaks.org. worldperspectives.org. lib.msu.edu/call/main/spec_col/radicalism. worldurbanfestival.com. worldwatch.org. woojs.org.il/activist/leadership/manual. zmag.org. Activism Resources. AK Press Catalog. 674A 23rd St. Oakland, California 94612-1163. 510-208-1700. Fax 510-208-1701. akpress@akpress.org. akpress.org. akuke.com, Europe. Lots of books. American Civil Liberties Union. 125 Broad St. 18th FL. New York, New York 10004. 212-944-9800. 212-549-2646. Fax 212-549-2646. aclu.org. Andrews and McNeil. 4520 Main St. KC, Missouri 64111-7701. 800-642-6480. Fax 816-932-6559. Book Telling It All, A Legal Guide to the Exercise of Free Speech. Bill of Rights Day Committee. POG 270205. Hartford, Wisconsin 53027. 262-670-9920. Fax 262-670-9921. bohr@yourfreedoms.org. yourfreedoms.org. Center for Individual Rights. 1233 20th Street NW. Number 300. Washington, D.C. 20036. 202, 833-8400. Fax 202, 833-8410. cir@mail.wdn.com. cir-usa.org. Fights for People's Rights. Civil Rights Discrimination. Department of Health and Human Services. Washington, D.C. 20201. 202-619-0403. 800-368-1019. 800-537-7697. hhs.gov. Civil Rights Hotline. 330 Independence Avenue. SW. Number 5514, North Building. Washington, D.C. 20201. 800-368-1019. Will help with information and any discrimination beefs except for sex discrimination. Commission on Civil Rights. 624 9th Street NW. Washington, D.C. 20425. 800-552-6843. 202-376-8513, Complaint Referral in D.C. 202-376-8116, TDD. 202-376-8128, Publications. 202-376-8312, Public Affairs. usccr.gov. Look in your telephone directory under U.S. Government, Civil Rights Commission. Commission on Human Rights. UN. Human Rights Committee, UN. Center for Human Rights, United Nations Office in Geneva. Palais des Nations, CH 1211 Geneva 10. Switzerland. 41, 22, 917, 1234. Fax, 41, 22, 917, 0123. UN.org. Committee Against Torture. Secretary of the Committee Against Torture, UN. Center for Human Rights, United Nations Office in Geneva. Palais des Nations, CH 1211 Geneva 10. Switzerland. 41, 22, 917, 1234. Fax, 41, 22, 917, 0099. UN.org. Department of Agriculture. Office of Civil Rights. 1400 Independence Avenue, SW. MS 9410. Washington, D.C. 20250. 202-720-5964. USDA.gov/CR. Department of Education. Office of Civil Rights. 330 St. SW. Washington, D.C. 20202. ed.gov. Human Rights Campaign. 1101 14th St. Northwest Suite 200. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-628-4166. hrcusa.org. Individual Rights Foundation. POB 361269. Los Angeles, California 90036-9828. 800-752-6562. csbc.org/irf. Public interest law firm that takes cases where free speech, First Amendment rights, has been violated. Inter-American Human Rights Commission. Organization of American States. 1889 F Street, NW. 8th floor. Washington, D.C.200006. 202-458-6002. Fax, 202-458-3992. International Labour Organization. ILO Governing Body. Committee on Freedom of Association. 4, Route des Morillons. CH 1211 Geneva 22. Switzerland. 41, 22, 798, 7707. Fax, 41, 22, 798, 8685. Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights. Under Law. 1400 G St. NW. Number 400. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-371-1212. 202-662-8600. Help for Poor Folk in Civil Rights Cases. UNESCO. Director of International Legal Standards and Legal Affairs. 7, Place de Fontenoy. F75700 Paris, France. 33, 1, 45-68-10-00. Fax, 33, 1, 47-8340-24. UN.org. UNESCO.org.